If you haven't already heard, Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, you're listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the podcast that focuses on helping you create space to attract more money, love, and happiness in your life. I am your host, Janet M. Taylor, and I want to say hello if you're a regular listener and welcome if you're listening for the very first time. I hope you're having a great week. And if you enjoy listening to this podcast, please leave me a review. And also, there are two ways you can now support this podcast individually by clicking the Buy Me a Coffee link or as a business. And either way, I'm going to give you a shout out on the air. Well, I'm excited because we have organizing and lifestyle expert Leslie Lehr, and she's going to help us get organized for the upcoming holiday season. I mean, it is upon us. And of course, I will be sharing my product, app, repurpose, and book suggestion for this week. And my question for you this week is, are you organized or overwhelmed during the holiday season? Please post it on social media. Let me know. Or, of course, you can always just leave me a voice message on this show page. Well, according to Punchbowl, 2 to 3 weeks before Christmas, they see a major spike in searches for Christmas party and holiday party ideas. 37% of party hosts look to social media for party snack recipes, and 2/3 of party hosts buy snacks for the occasion the week of the event. They want them fresh. Leslie Lehr is a lifestyle expert, organizational specialist, and a go-to girlfriend for the modern-day superwoman. Leslie is the founder and owner of Leslie Lehr Living, a company dedicated to helping the everyday busy woman find beauty and order, live simply with a pop of personality, and create systems that decrease clutter and allow for sustainability. Leslie uses her expertise and passion for style, organization, and hospitality to help her clients live more with less, with the belief that you should not have to compromise function, style, or budget to achieve beautiful results. Leslie teaches her clients to implement simple systems that help them stay organized, curate a polished style with flair, and invest in a few quality items and versatile pieces to avoid over purchasing. Leslie is currently based in Phoenix, Arizona, where she frequently contributes her lifestyle, organization, and entertaining expertise to top-tier local media outlets. Get your pen, paper, tablet, call a girlfriend, forward this interview to somebody, and listen to all the nuggets that Leslie drops during this conversation. Well,
There we go.
listeners, it is like the end of October, and you know what's on everybody's mind is the holidays, the turkey, the decoration, which is why I brought in Lisa Lehr, and she's an organizing and a lifestyle expert. I can't wait to hear our conversation. So, Leslie, thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. And you're right, we're in the season to celebrate. So I've got some helpful tips that can keep us all not only organized, but also make it effortless.
So before we get started on that, what your journey about becoming the organizing and lifestyle expert? I would love to hear it.
And I'm sure you've heard this before because you're also in the organizing space. I would guess, like me, it kind of came naturally. I just was always, since I was little, having order was extremely important to me. Not only visually, but I can feel the difference when there's too much clutter, the physical as well as the emotional. And I've always lived this way. I mean, the joke is, Janet, I'm an only child, and I went away to college. My roommates nicknamed me Tidy because everything had to be organized. I would organize their things. And it was new for me because I didn't share a room growing up. I'm an only child. And so that's really when it hit me that some of the habits I developed might be a little bit different. But, for the longest time, I was a little embarrassed because my husband would joke, people would come over and the towels are lined up just a certain way, and they would kind of go, oh my goodness, is this how you live all the time? And sometimes I was like, oh my gosh, is this it? Like, is this compulsion to be orderly a challenge? And really what I learned, and it took convincing for my husband and my family, that it's actually my passion and I need to embrace it. And so 5 years ago, with the encouragement of my husband, I think he was like, you need to get out of the house and take your organizing skills away from us for a while. And so I over dinner with friends, we were talking about it. I'm like, who would pay me to organize, right? Like, I can't help myself. I love doing it. And I was blessed to have members at this dinner that were business people, some entrepreneurs. They're like, Leslie, let me tell you, I right now would hire you to help me. And that's really how it started. The next morning, one of my dear friends just moved into a house. She started sending me pictures of like her identification card from nursing school. She's like, do people really keep this? I'm now almost 50. Should I still have this? And she's like, seriously, I need your help. And I said, I don't even have a business plan yet. I don't have a name. But if you're willing to understand I'm new and that this could be kind of my master class of deciding how this could work, I'd be happy to help. And that's how it started. And thankfully, my business has grown organically. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, so my hands-on clients, I'm able to assist them. I really now work with kind of a few that I've either worked with for some time or are referrals. Organizing is a very personal process. And so it's very important to me that when I'm asked to assist with a project, it's a 100% agreement on the parties that are hiring me, because it's a whole learning process. And my goal is to set the foundation so that really I'm teaching habits and some tools as well as systems that then will help them continue on. Maybe in 6 months, they realize, okay, I need a little Leslie refresh. Mm-hmm. We need to kind of, just like if I was a coach, right? We just need to hone our skills. But really my goal is that I should be able to create a plan that can help them live their life their best with less. And I started doing that 5 years ago. And Janet, probably much like you, I didn't expect to be in a situation where media and being able to then grow into lifestyle. That was not, I'm an old dog learning new tricks. But what started to happen is that through just the journey, someone pitched me to producers, and we, really realized that what I provide is more than just organizing your home. It's also your work, your play, your family, really your whole life. And I love to do it with beautiful aesthetics. I like to have a pop of your personality but create a system that's orderly. And then for me, just any opportunity to celebrate life is so important to me. And that really started on, I guess, my idea of realizing the importance of entertaining, and that skill of kind of bringing it back is while I would be organizing beautiful china cabinets and helping people with their kitchens, I'd uncover pieces that were spectacular that had never been used. They might still be in the box that they received as a wedding gift with the card. And what I started to learn is that there was almost a fear of not using those fine pieces. They can only be used for special occasions. And I would start explaining, oh my goodness, pull the silver bowl out. Let's use it to let's put apples in it, or we can use it as a decorative piece. But let's embrace these pieces, because if we don't, it's just clutter. It's just stuff.
That's so true.
And so that then opened up that window of taking something I love, which is entertaining, and I love to do something special for people. It's kind of my gift when they come into the home. I'm not the best cook, but I'll set a beautiful table. I'll have all the fixings, but it might be semi-homemade. But for me, just, even more so now over the past few years, the time to spend together, I just think there is nothing better than that. And so I want to encourage people through efficiencies and just fresh ideas that you can entertain with style, and it doesn't need to be this overwhelming situation.
I am so glad you said that, because the holidays can bring stress in and of itself, but then when you're talking about hosting, it's like,
Right.
what do I do? Where do I begin? So what are some of the don'ts when it comes
Okay.
to hosting?
Okay, so my number one don't is you get the call. Now you're going to be hosting, right? You've got some families coming in from out of town. Maybe you're going to have that, the dinner. Don't run out and start buying items until you follow. I have a 4-step process. It's very simple. It's called the less approach. Okay. And I know it sounds crazy, but we've all seen it, right? That purchasing out of fear. And that's something you and I both believe in. The being organized and having a system is not only saving time, but money. And so this is a big part of that. So the less approach is that first, when you get the call and you're going to be entertaining, put a list together. What meal are you going to be hosting? One of my tips, if you haven't identified what meal, a brunch is always good because food is less expensive, and it's not as many hot dishes. A lot of it can just be buffet style, but first identify what the meal will be, who's coming, right? The date, the time. I love having a theme. And so for me, what a theme might be, it might be as simple as just the brunch itself. Maybe let's say if it's fall and we're getting close to, those autumn colors that we can just grab from outdoors. Maybe that's what we're celebrating. Maybe it's the event. Maybe it's, Thanksgiving's coming. If you have a theme, it will really help some of those elements come together. I also love, even something, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, right? So for us, where I live is known for citrus groves. We have beautiful citrus. So I even love doing something like, sunset and citrus, or for brunch, maybe freshly squeezed brunch, and you've got a variety of orange juice and grapefruit juice. And then you can just have some of those elements just highlight, from the grocery store. You probably have some oranges stuck in your refrigerator, or, add a pop with some orange marmalade. But I love having a theme because I think that helps it all come together. And then the next step is evaluate what you already have. So before you run to the store, before you start stressing, go into the cabinets and really look. I bet there's paper products, if you want to go that route, that you already have. I bet there's little cocktail napkins that you saved from the year before. I bet there's plastic utensils or even your own, collection of utensils that you own already that have been hidden that can be reused and given new life. And so that's really important to me, is really evaluate what you already have and realize, you know what? I've got 12 people coming over. I have 12 neutral color plates. They might not be the same pattern, but I could stack them up and they'll look great together. Or I've got, clear glassware in a variety of sizes, but even if I line them up, it can accomplish, and save me some money from going out to the store. So that's really important to me. I love being able to reuse the pieces we already have. Also, if it's an heirloom piece, let's celebrate that, Oh my goodness, my grandmother's picture that I hide in the back corner. I'm going to fill that up with the orange juice, and it will be just a nice little, memory, but also we're using something we already have. So evaluate what you have, and then that's when you really are going to start, systemizing it. That's the first S in the less approach. That's when you're going to go, you know what? I only have this number of plates, or I'm mixing adult with certain children's age group where China might not be the right solution. So instead, I think I need to maybe I just get some white, smaller plates for the kids and let the adults have the China, or we just go all, keep it all simple with disposable. But really take that time to create a list so that you can put it together without going crazy on a budget. And then because you might have that theme in mind, one trick that I've learned over the years that I really love is a simple way to elevate the style. So let's say we're using some of our heirloom pieces, maybe kind of considered old-fashioned in style. There's paper products now that are out that are disposable, they're completely affordable, and they can bring a little bit more of a contemporary flair to your table so that you're mixing your heirloom with a little bit more of a modern touch. So you're really elevating the style at an inexpensive price. And with the paper, it's disposable. So wow. I don't know if you've seen, they now have, it comes in a pack, paper placemats.
Yes.
In all different, from the fun checks to fall themed or during the holidays, or even just a signature color. It's fun to use those in lieu of maybe a tablecloth or a fabric runner, and you can use that to really elevate the space. And they come in a big enough stack that you can reuse it for other purposes.
I'm loving your tips, Leslie, specifically the one where you said, look and see what you have, because we may all have experienced it where you buy so many of the utensils and the napkins and the paper products.
Right.
And sometimes the tablecloths, you don't use them, so you just kind of tuck them away. And you all of a sudden forget, and then you panic and go out and buy stuff you already have. But I do love your tip about the theme, because one of the themes that I have, and this is just with a group of friends, it's 4 of us, is chicken and chocolate. I started it.
Chicken and chocolate? That's brilliant.
So we have, usually when I host it, it'll be a specific type of way I've cooked the chicken. It'll be a chocolate dessert. And then during Zoom, what we did was during the pandemic, we would all have our own little chicken dishes and our own chocolate desserts. And we would just, and I thought, maybe we would get together for an hour. 4 hours later, we're still on Zoom, just having a
Right.
good time. And I think we also added, Leslie, was crazy hats for some reason. It was
Oh
like
my
for the
gosh.
holiday. I had a hat that looked like a Christmas tree. One friend, her daughter was an engineer, so she had like a construction hat. One friend, she took decorations and just like made them into earrings. It was
Oh my
just
gosh.
so, and you're right. It's like just about having fun, using what you have, saving money, but also I love the way you just sit down and just plan. Because I think what happens, we decide, okay, I'm going to host a party, then we go into panic mode. But sometimes you do just have to take a moment and just plan things out. I hope listeners
Absolutely.
I hope listeners you're taking notes, but of course you can always listen to this, interview over again. So, what type of organizing tips do you have that you can share with the listeners that they can use, any time of year, or even just at the end of the year when all of a sudden the decorations come out, they go up, everything's happening, the meals and all of that.
It's so funny. So I think that as it relates to the holidays, one thing that we see many people do, it's the same idea as with entertaining where they run out, they start seeing the decorations at the stores and have the immediate need, oh my goodness, I need to buy the lights for the tree. Or, oh my goodness, let's get some more of the ornaments in fear that they don't have enough. And then what typically happens is that they come home and then as they start unpacking last year's collection, they realize, okay, we already had strands ready for that work. So I would recommend as the holidays approach, visit your whatever your storage place is. If it's a bin with your holiday decor, open it up, take, set time, just 15 minutes, go through, see what you're going to use this year, identify what is now maybe out of style, broken. How many times have I pulled out, probably you as well, working with clients, and there's the candles that have a special theme and they're melted down to nothing. There's no purpose for them anymore. But somehow they made it back into that storage case and they're taking up space. So before we decorate, go through again, just follow the same, that less approach is how you can live any project when it comes to order. We know if it's Christmas time, we need to maybe get a tree. But before you go out there, see what you already have and take time to evaluate, purge. If it's time to retire, maybe there's some ornaments that are not broken, they're not out of style, but they might not be your style and you received it as a gift. This is a great opportunity to donate it. And I bet you there's somebody who's been dying for that one ornament that may not make it on your holiday decor list, but somebody else would love it. So that's my first approach, is to really go through, evaluate, and then that will help as you're starting to decorate. And then do the same process when it's time to take everything down and store it again. I always find, there are some ornaments that made it through the holiday, but then broke towards the end. So purge before it goes back into storage. So just follow that system, and it can be very simple. If there's any questions, I always say, put a little box together of I'm not sure yet. I don't know if I can give it up just yet. Then just have a little box, put it aside, and allow yourself that moment to say, I'm going to give this holiday a chance to decide if this will ever come back out again. And if it doesn't, then at least you didn't let go of it just yet.
Those are some great tips, because I remember right after my mother passed, and I knew she loved Christmas, was her holiday, but she was, Leslie, the queen of garland. She had garland, in different colors for her different themes. And I decided, I said, you know what, this is not something for me. So, like you said, I just kind of packaged it up because it was still usable. And I found an organization, they were really happy to get it to use it for their decorations. So, you're right. Sometimes the things that we may inherit or get in regards to decoration just doesn't fit our style, and it's okay. You just pass it along.
Well,
I
and you
love
know what I love, Janet, that you said is that your mom loved garland. You know, my mother-in-law loves snowmen. That's her collection. She's got an incredible collection. I have friends that there's something that they just are drawn to. And I'll always remember a story that a family friend shared with me when his father passed. He collected baseball jerseys. He had a big collection, and he was known for wearing all these different sports teams. Like that was his uniform. And when it came time to decide what are we going to do with this? What he did was he reached out to all the family and friends. And after the close family decided which shirts they wanted, the jerseys they wanted to keep, they then opened it up to the additional family and friends. And it really was so neat because those, one person might have taken one. And then once that started to filter down, then it went to charity. But it's the same idea. If it has meaning, you can always share it with some of the close people within your lives before you then, open it up to the world. And then there will be somebody who is going to be so happy with that garland. So I love that you shared that story.
Yeah, and I know, and it made adults as well as children happy, so that always makes me happy too. So, Leslie, in all that you do, you're a wife, you're an organizing, and also a lifestyle expert. How do you just manage to manage it all? How do you stay organized? I mean, of course you're organized, but still, how do you do it?
Really, I do. I believe I've got my calendar. I have my technology, my iPhone. Everything is on my calendar. I have it color coordinated, surprisingly. So there's Leslie Lehr Living is in blue. I've got my family schedules with all of their sports. They're in a different color. I really believe it's important to have one location so we know what everyone is doing. And for me, it helps having it on the phone just because of I work all over, so that just gives me the ability to quickly access it. But for my families that subscribe to, the calendars that you write down or a calendar on a board, I think it's a great way to manage your daily duties. I also make just my daily goals. That's so important to me that even as dad, I just had this conversation recently with a group of what I call, like you, modern day superwoman, right? You're juggling it all. You've got all of these balls in the air. You have your family, your career, you're involved in your community. You still want to spend time with your friends. And what I find, and I'm guilty of this, is that I'm the last on my totem pole. And so I have now made sure that I put it in my calendar, and it's a part of my daily goals of little things like read for 20 minutes. That's one of my goals, is to improve, to spend more time reading. Even down to my exercise. I want to make sure that I learn the importance of setting that time for myself, and that if I'm not at my peak, then everything starts falling down. So that's just something important that I think we all need to remember. And, this is really important, especially for the bigger things in life. Don't sweat about the small stuff. I mean, I'll plan big events, and there's that one little tiny detail that we had planned and it didn't arrive in time. or it wasn't exactly what we thought. The only person who really knows is me. And so I always remember to just really worry more about the big picture, plan that there's going to be something that doesn't go as smoothly as you expected. So always have a plan B and a plan C. That's always helpful. And then I think, especially for us parents, and even my routine for myself, when I've got a very busy week or even just a very busy day, I set my clothes out the night before. My family sets the clothes out the night before. If it's, schoolwork and projects, that backpack and the project is done the night before. We're not still working on it before breakfast. And it's in a designated space that it's easy to access and it's ready to go. So everything's there. If there's lunch is still in the refrigerator, and if you're someone who this might be helpful, I'll write a little note to myself. Don't forget the lunch in the refrigerator, or don't forget you are in charge of bringing the pack of bottled waters. And so I really take the time in advance to make sure we've got things in order so that you're eliminating the stress and chaos that tight schedules do create for all of us.
Those were some wonderful tips, Leslie, those were nuggets. Nuggets, listener, nuggets. I hope you were taking notes. But again, you can also always listen to this interview again. So, Leslie, it has been a true pleasure just having a conversation with you today. And so how can listeners connect with you?
Well, I've got a website, and it's leslielehrliving.com. And I'm involved in social media. That's really where I share a lot of my inspirations, my projects, and ideas. On Instagram, it's at Leslie Lehr Living, and on TikTok, it's at Leslie Lehr Living as well. And really, I love connecting to my community. And if you have questions, you can go to any three of those. Shoot me email, shoot me a DM. I love to be able to help people and help them live their best life with less.
And of course, listeners, I will have a direct link to Leslie's website on the podcast show page. So, Leslie, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episode. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So, what was your takeaway from my conversation with Leslie? I mean, she dropped so many wonderful tips, strategies, and nuggets. This is the interview you really have to listen to at least a couple more times just to get all the wonderful things that Leslie shared just about hosting and organizing and just so many practical tips. So let me know, your nugget, and also just kind of tag it so I can let Leslie know too. So, some Taylor's tips for putting yourself, specifically just getting things organized for this season. Number 1, you got to create a master list. Number 2, list items that need to be done like shopping, cleaning, cooking. Schedule when tasks need to be completed, because there's certain things maybe you want to do the shopping first, do some cleaning in between, do some cooking and cleaning. Then, of course, ask for help if you need it. One of the things I learned whenever I host is I'm good at getting all the supplies, doing the cleaning, doing the shopping. And, usually now I'm learning because I don't feel like I'm that good of a cook. I'll do, a small catering, which is very cost effective. So always look into that. But in regards to the setup and the looks, the aesthetics, I call my best friend who loves to do that. She loves to just make everything look beautiful for parties, events, and holidays. So I'll just make sure she's always on my guest list. She always comes over early because she always wants to help. So it works out. And most of all, with all the shopping, the cleaning, the cooking, and all the different things on your schedule, enjoy the season. So, virtual sessions. Just because you are across the country, around the world, I offer virtual sessions that can help you organize your life. And of course, as an organizer, I see firsthand when you don't organize your life, how stressful it is. So let's talk. Of course, I offer products to help you digitize those important documents, but also organize and protect the physical documents. So check the links on the show page. But also, if you are just looking whether to manage your time or manage your life, go to my contact page and schedule a free 15-minute session. Take the steps necessary to start by doing something today. Click the link in the show page. Well, of course, I want to just take a moment, I do, and just say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following me on social media. Thank you for your likes, your retweets, your sharing. Please continue to follow me on all my social media platforms. And on my Pinterest page, I have a board for holiday organizing, Thanksgiving, Let's Party. So check those out to just get some tips and strategies. And please like and share. And don't forget to check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. And also check out my website as well. And of course, ladies, if you're thinking of getting your life organized, don't get overwhelmed. Join my Facebook group, Living Life Totally Organized. It is a community of women supporting each other on their journey to living life totally organized. I love this group because it is a space that I've created which allows people to freely share what they're feeling. And sometimes those messages are long. And I love it because then that allows me to go on the group page and just share some strategies so that it can, one, help them relieve stress, two, give them some practical things they can do, and also three, let them know that they're not alone. Let them know that yes, even though I am a professional organizer and I've been doing this for over 30 years, almost 30 years, probably over 30 years if you count all the times I was doing it as a teenager and a young adult, is that I know I live with a woman who, my mom, and she had tendencies to hoard things. So come on, join us. Well, I had to take a pause because you know what time it is. It is Toss It Tuesday time. Now, as we get ready for holiday season 2022, let's get rid of old decorations, entertainment items, and that, first of all, are broken. So those need to be trashed. But if you don't want to use them, donate them as well. My app suggestion for this month is Giftster. Giftster is a free private gift registry trusted by over 1 million members, and it gets gifts right every time. You set it up once, you use it for a lifetime. And my product suggestion is my Amazon shop. And check out, I have a special space for gifts under $20. So maybe you want to help somebody get organized, you're on a budget, go to that section. But of course, you can go to my Amazon page and there are other gift ideas as well. And of course, repurpose. Maybe there is the family, I used to tell the story of the cookie jar because, holiday season, people are making cookies. So I was able to take a cookie jar from my childhood, and that now becomes my grateful jar. There's so many ways you can repurpose those things in your home and your life. My book suggestion for you this week is Get Yourself Organized for Christmas. Simple steps to enjoy the holiday season. So check that out. And of course, if you are just really interested in getting a book on Amazon, specifically on my Amazon shop, you can get a free copy and a free 30-day trial from Audible. Again, you can get a free copy and a free 30-day trial from Audible. Just click the link in the show page and check out. There may be a book that you want to get for the holiday season, just as like a nice little read of all the busyness. And my quote for this week is, life is a party, so you just enjoy it. Well, I want to thank you for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your family and friends and on your social media network. And again, let me know you enjoy listening to this podcast by leaving a review and or supporting this podcast by buying a cup of coffee, or also, supporting by using, your business through your business. Well, again, thank you, and be sure to visit my website at www.janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, I want you to have a clutter-free day, but most of all, have an organized week. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemmas. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you are listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized.